Hello, everyone. Today we have the honor to have Mr. Raheel Chughtai with us. He is a key figure in the world of governance, compliance, and business transformation in Saudi Arabia. Raheel brings over 20 years of diverse experience, having worked with top executives and boards to create and mature departments, lead corporate governance, and drive major transformations, from setting up award-winning customer experience practices to steering complex crisis management during the pandemic. Raheel's expertise covers a broad range of skills, including business process optimization, training, and consulting. He is someone who not only builds teams and functions from scratch, but also turns them into best-in-class operations. This episode is part of a series spotlighting emerging countries in the MENA region that are making waves in education, technology, and business. Hi, Raheel. How are you doing?
I'm very well. Many thanks. I think you have said a lot about me. I hope all that is correct.
That's great. Thank you so much for taking the time. And I'm very glad we've been talking for quite a while. And I really wanted to get you on the podcast for two reasons. The first one is that you strike me as an extremely smart person. And the second one as well is that you're very calm about your knowledge.
I hope that is correct as well.
Very zen. Okay. So how are things today? I saw that you were recently, you took part in a conference. Can you tell us about that conference in Saudi?
That was an exciting conference, and thanks to my colleague Anders Link. Originally, he was supposed to be the speaker on that slot, and we were talking about ethics in AI and what are the ethical dilemmas in the application of AI and how we can govern the AI around the principles of ethics. So unfortunately, Anders couldn't make it, and he passed the slot to me. And so that's how I ended up in the conference, and I hope the attendees and the other participants liked it. It was a great conference with the international representation by CWI, and very well received. And many interesting topics were discussed there, like third-party risk management, how ESG and governance of GRC is aligned together, financial crimes, the corporate governance stories of the organizations who were participating in the event. They showcased their journey. And some whistleblowers, one of the speakers was a whistleblower, Xavier, who told his story of how he blew a whistle and how it impacted his life, and it wasn't the same as before. It was a very learning and thorough event that we went into.
Yeah, it sounds like a very interesting event, part of many conferences that Saudi Arabia is currently hosting. You are based in Riyadh, I understand.
I'm
The capital of Saudi it's Riyadh, right?
That's right. That's right.
Okay, there's another city as well as one of the biggest cities, Jeddah, I understand. For those who are listening who are not acquainted with the country, and especially business people or people interested in that part of the region, which city should you go to first to FDR, or they would like to maybe establish presence or get to know what's going on in the country in the business scene?
Well, that is an interesting question, and let the audience know that I'm an expert. So my answers are from an expert perspective. So really, if you are talking to a local gentleman or a lady who's a Saudi, they might have a different perspective because they would definitely know the country more than I do. But I would try to be as accurate with my answers as possible. But take all what I say with a pinch of an expertism involved that I know, but I don't know all. So there's a lot
Nobody
about
does.
Saudi Arabia that is hidden from the world and needs to be seen and explored. And I'm personally a witness of that. So coming back to your question, see, Riyadh is the business hub. It's the main place where a lot of organizations are, and it's a key hub for business. But it doesn't mean that other cities like Jeddah or Dammam is not important. So every city has a culture. Jeddah has its unique culture as well, which is shaped by how pilgrims move have been coming to the region from quite significant time. And Jeddah also we have very key organizations there. The Dammam region is also home to Aramco as well. So though their head office is based here as well, recently opened in CAF as well. So in summary, you can say Riyadh is the main business hub. However, there are great things happening in other cities of Saudi Arabia as well. For instance, if we talk about tourism, then Uda and Baha and Abha, These cities geared for tourism and receive a lot of. So it depends what you would like to do and what is the right place for it. It would always drill down to that what are we trying to do and what would be the right ecosystem we are looking for.
Yeah. And in terms of tech, since you gave a presentation at the conference on AI, uh, which city is the leading city and or the most welcoming city to tech companies, international tech companies coming from abroad?
See, in that sense, if they are like startups or they themselves or they want to find the first home, I will not say a second home because that is what where the kingdom of Saudi Arabia is going. So that would be Riyadh because there are a lot of startup accelerators and organizations in Riyadh where even international startups are coming and showcasing their ideas. 𝒚𝒐𝒖'𝒍𝒍 is one of them. The Garage also is one of them as well. So they are really, housing the international talents and taking them to the full scale of the startup journey from a raw idea to a finished product, leading to investments in venture capital as well.
Yeah, that's very good. How long have you been living in Saudi?
Well, I came in year 2011.
Right.
So it has been some time, and it has been great to see all these changes in this period as well.
That's exactly why I'm asking you. Can you tell us how Saudi is different from 2011 to 2024? I understand that the country is currently implementing is bring about many changes in all sectors of life, whether it's social, economic, cultural, and educational even. Mm. From as an expat, what did you see before, and do you see any? Is it a better life now than before? How do you change?
See, this is, we can talk a lot about specifically this point. So I could say that even if someone has visited the kingdom around 5 to 6 years before and you bring them back in, they would definitely notice significant changes. If you go back 10 years, they may say that they are now in a different country. So things have been really, changing with a very accelerated pace in all sectors. And the main driving force behind it is the Vision 2030, which is unveiled by His Royal Highness Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman in 2016. And it's a very ambitious and transformative plan that has triggered all these changes and diversification in the kingdom with leading innovation and has brought the kingdom to the world stage. There are, three pillars of this transformation. Number one is a vibrant society. A thriving economy is the second one, and an ambitious nation as well. And we have to see that the kingdom's rich history, its unique heritage, culture, and the strategic location that it has, and the economic strength that it enjoys. All of these forces have been put together in a well thought vision that has really changed the country completely from an oil dependent economy to a very diversified powerhouse, which is promoting global investment and job creation across all sectors. So even if you look at some of the figures, I can give some examples, and you can see that how this transition and transformation has really made an impact. For instance, we have seen significant strides in expanding non-oil industries such as tourism, manufacturing, and also enhancing economic growth and career opportunities. So if we compare some numbers, the total GDP of the kingdom since the Vision 2030 is launched, in 2016 it was 708 billion USD. To 2023, it is around 789 billion with an 11.3% increase.
Wow.
Yeah. Even if you look at the journey of economic diversification oil revenues, as when people talk about kingdom, second thing that is their minds is it's about oil. This has also changed big time, and at such a scale that you cannot see in any other country. Like in my personal experience or my limited knowledge, I don't see any other example of any other country going through same or even similar transformation with such kind of results. If we look at non-oil revenues diversification, in 2016 they were 49.6 billion. To 2023 they become 121 billion USD, which is 144% increase, approximately 2.4 times. So this is really a very large scale, and you can see that how transformative the vision is that really put that sector on a 2.4% growth rate. I'm sorry, it's not percentage, it's times 2.4 times growth rate from 2016 to 2023.
Wow, that's really impressive. Yeah.
As you talked about, the international companies and the startups that where they could come and how they could see things here. If you look at the SMEs, and the growth on the SMEs are quite significant here in Saudi Arabia. The kingdom was ranked 13th globally for venture capital availability. That is showcasing the Vision 2030's impact on enhancing the business environment for SMEs. And this is according to the IMD World Competitiveness Yearbook that they published in 2023. So SME growth, if we see in 2016, was around 389,000. And in 2023, it is 813,000. So that's 108% increase. And we can say it doubled. And surprisingly, you would notice that 45% of these SMEs are owned by women in 2022.
Which is a very good sign of a healthy economy as well, the thriving of SMEs in the country.
Exactly. And the GCC's lowest inflation rates is within the, and also many economic milestones have been achieved, and all is there in IMF reports. And if anyone would like to have more details, they can browse these pieces of information, and they would be. And
that's impressive. Are there any specific sectors in Saudi that are currently looking for foreign expertise?
That's a good question, and see, I would say that in my own personal view, all sectors, are currently in the transformation. Education, tourism, healthcare is already strong. The kingdom, it is getting stronger. Even the digital and tech space, the kingdom enjoys third position globally and first regionally in the World Bank's GovTech Maturity Index, and achieving the highest maturity rate around 97.13%. So if we talk about the tech sector, that is also a key area. It is also now moving on to the new advanced latest technology deployments. Tourism, you can see and read about Red Sea Global and how they are shaping the coast of Saudi Arabia to new destinations, which are not only beautiful and unseen and untouched before, but also all these developments are aligned with the sustainability goals of the UN, and also ESG is quite on the radar, and they are taking care of environmental impacts using solar energy as well. So all sectors are on the move, I would say. Be it energy, be it manufacturing, be it oil and gas, be it technology, all are currently being transformed in one way or the other on a scale that you would not see in any other country.
Yeah, that's amazing. It reminds me of Europe or the States at the beginning, like Europe after when they were rebuilding it from the scratch. So whenever you're building something from, it's not from the scratch, but well, I would say many cities they are in Saudi Arabia. Correct me if I'm wrong. They are on a massive scale. So they're building the underground metro, for example, which is a very ambitious project. Tourism, building tourism industry from the scratch. I read somewhere 2 days ago that Saudi, well, on their official website, they launched the official campaign to attract tourism to Saudi, in China and Russia, in Europe. I get lots of ads on my Facebook feed, my Twitter feed, visit Saudi, which is very refreshing. It's something that you dream of maybe 20 years ago. And I'm glad about this because it's somehow changing the image that Saudi and the whole region, the Muslim world, is viewed abroad. I can only 9/11, over 20 years ago, it was everybody was coming from that region was vilified. Now things are changing. We're not only talking about, what we talk about in Hollywood terrorism and all that stuff, but now we're talking business opportunities, talking building, and we're talking about a country that is open to the whole world, which actually leads me to the next question, which would be about safety and family. Companies obviously moving or identifying opportunities, business opportunities in Saudi would send executives to live there, and some of them might have families. And so the first question that would pop up on these in AB, is it safe enough for my wife and children? Can I send them to a good school? So as somebody, as an expat who lives there, like, is it safe enough? Is there good schools over there?
See, I can tell you that, all these years, that kingdom from 2011 till today. I personally never experienced any safety issue to the point that if we have to, let's say, we get things for our homes, grocery and all that, and sometimes we can, drop cash with the empty bottle outside the home, and the delivery gentleman, he would come and he would just take the money which is already there and replace what you want to replace and leave.
Wow.
So safety wise, it's I know my wife here, she I'm here at work. So safety wise, I believe I haven't felt safer yet. So if I'm traveling somewhere, I'm usually more concerned their safety. But when I'm in Saudi Arabia, I do not worry about the safety of my family.
Wow. That's amazing. Do you have to any non-Muslim people living in Saudi? Is it safe for non-Muslim people, women, for example? Because it's one of actually the stereotypes about women going to Saudi. One of my previous guests on the show was a businesswoman who travels often to Saudi Arabia, and she told me that she had any problems in that country. I'd like to get your take on this.
See, definitely, she's right, and especially in terms of non-Muslims as well, you would be amazed that they are very well regarded and very well guided as well. Even I was in that audience, and one of these speakers came from Germany. So he was telling his story that only he was welcomed at the airport, and he just asked, a gentleman there about how he can go to his hotel and what kind of a taxi or Uber he should take, and how he can make his way out and to the hotel as well. So that gentleman, he said to him that he will ask around and you can take your luggage and so on. Then, as he finished and he came out, he saw that a man, another man from a transport company, which is available in Saudi airports. So he asked him that, because he told that other gentleman where he wants to go and where is his hotel is about. So he told him the same thing that, are you Mr. This and you want to go to this hotel? He said, yes. So he said, I'll take you there. And he asked, how much would you charge? And to his surprise, he got the answer that it has been paid for. The gentleman has already been paid for your travel. So the people are amazingly hospitable, and you would be amazed to actually come and see things firsthand, especially for non-Muslims.
Mm.
Because see, it is very easy to make stereotypes, watch movies or read articles and make an impression about things that isn't true. But my answer to them is, come and see firsthand.
Exactly. And women can drive as well.
Sorry?
And women can drive now.
Yes, I mean, it has been quite some years. My memory is not too good on when it started, but now it's a daily activity. And see, sometimes we or how it has been portrayed in the past by media and other institutions having some agendas. What I have seen, it's not this. So women are the most respected part of the society. And even, now, as I said to you, that a large percentage of those SMEs are owned by women. They are having startups. They are starting, companies. They are on the growth path. And if someone comes and sees that how many women are in the leadership roles, women are now participating in the boards of even publicly listed companies. So many examples can be for those companies. And I would urge people to go and check Saudi listed companies and look at their board members, and you would find very highly knowledgeable, experienced women on their boards as well. And in health sector, you find even in education and now in manufacturing as well. So many organizations now, if you go, you find a very cohesive society where both genders are working together towards the progress of the country.
That's great, and I know for a fact that I have family, for example, living in the Emirates, and it's very safe for a woman. Like whenever they're in Europe, female, especially female members, they just find them. They can't actually go cross a park alone at 9 p.m. But you could do that in the even thinking about it, no problem. And I guess it's similar in Saudi. Very good. I would like to transition to another topic in which an expert, compliance in companies. How important is compliance today in Saudi for a foreign car or new in country? What should you think about when it comes to compliance? Is Saudi tough regulations as compared? How does it differ?
See, so Saudi Arabia has many, regulatory authorities related to the sector that they are serving. So, for instance, there are, capital market authority, which is, regulating the markets and the listed companies, and we have the National Cybersecurity Authority, the Center for Space and Technology, the CST, which was CITC before. So they have, certain regulations that the businesses need to, according to applicability on them. There is SAMA as well for the Saudi Monetary Agency, for the banks and financial institutions, fintechs, and so on. Regulations, I would say, are rightly strict, not strict, because at the end, the country has to protect the shareholders and stakeholders' interests and investors' interests as well. So why would you like to invest in a country? Because the first thing you would be asking yourself is my investment to be safe? Am I going to be protected if something goes wrong? Is there an authority I can go to and raise my voice? So these would be, your first preliminary thoughts that would come to anyone's mind who would like to invest or go to any country for business. So that's why, the authorities here, they have put thorough regulations which are there for a purpose to protect consumers, to protect, the investors and the shareholders and the stakeholders and society overall. So even, like many examples, even, if you are mischarged for even, a single riyal on your bank, on your card or whatever instrument you are using, and let's say if the bank does not addresses your complaint, which is highly unlikely they do, and we have seen amazing, digital banking services in the kingdom, and you can have the right to complain that to the authority about the case and what happened, and they will take action. And they will even ask you that, are you satisfied with the resolution or not? So you can even say that I'm not satisfied with the resolution and something needs to be done more. So it's up to that level which people don't know. So this culture of minds is increasing in Saudi Arabia, and it's required now from the government as well for certain business licenses. And it depends what kind of company you are, and then those applicable regulations apply, and they have to comply to them.
Well, do foreign companies or foreign entrepreneurs have to partner with a local to start a company in Saudi? Is that still the case?
Not necessarily. So there is, the Saudi Investment Authority, and as I mentioned earlier about the startups and so on, they can come and take part in these startup accelerators, and they can register their businesses themselves without needing a local investor. If they can. So that is, entirely possible, and it is happening as we investment, authority has issued many licenses and even commercial registrations to non-Saudis and foreign nationals who are coming with those ideas and investments in the kingdom.
That's very good. Now towards the vision, the 2030 vision, Saudi vision, and also the World Cup. Are there any what are the biggest challenges are facing Saudi, or at least the challenges that's outspoken about? Because if you think about any entrepreneurs might, it's interesting and it's useful to think about challenges and solutions. That's where business ideas come from. My question is, what, in your opinion, what are 3 challenges, if any, that are facing Saudi?
See, I would say that there are opportunities more than the challenges that we can see. And when you see that a country is growing at such a scale and transforming and disrupting all these sectors that we about, from manufacturing, education, tourism, healthcare, fintech, and banking, and list goes on. So when it is being done, there are a lot of opportunities where new ideas and new initiatives can be taken, either to accelerate the process further or to inject new ideas on how it can be done better.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of space there to exercise and to see the benefits of new ideas.
Yeah, that's a very good point actually. These are challenges and the country is welcoming people with solutions, I guess.
So even if you or someone visits these these accelerators that I talked about, so you will be surprised to see that how many foreigners are shaping up their ideas and their startups in these accelerators.
Do you see your Europeans? Have you come across Europeans or North Americans in Riyadh? Is it like normal to common to see? Like I'm actually I know it's normal, but I'm just I want to have it from somebody on the ground because the stereotypes again we have here in Europe is that it's an isolated place. People are too scared to go to, which is yes, obviously.
Yeah, so as we say that the best way to challenge these assumptions is to have and knowledge of everything. So you can see it and you can believe it. We have seen startups from North Korea as well, and just any place in the world. So I would not pick certain nationalities to give an impression that certain others are not there.
Yeah,
So that person would say, oh, why I'm not there? Countries not there. So,
the multicultural.
so it's really visiting, and again I would go back to the point that you mentioned, visit Saudi. So the truth, the real truth.
Visit Saudi, exactly. It's part of the campaign as well. It's called Visit Saudi. Thank you so much, Raheel. Before we wrap up, I would like to ask you a few questions, and you can answer yes or no, or you can. I just would like you to choose one of two. Okay, it's a little game. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Early bird or night owl?
Depends.
It depends. Okay.
Night owl depends.
Night owl. Depends on what? Depends on whether it's a weekend or
No, it depends on what it would be better to do.
Okay. So night owl, that means you're a creative person in that case. Usually creatives like to stay up late.
Possibly.
Possibly. Okay. Beach vacation, mountain retreat.
First mountains, then beach.
Okay. Books or podcasts? Books. Work from home, office.
Hybrid.
Both? It's hybrid. It's both. Okay, cool. Yeah, but that's a future.
It is already for us. It is the present.
The present. Hey, structured routine or go with the flow?
Structured is first, and if it doesn't work, then go with the flow.
Exactly. So you just accept what you cannot change.
Right. And make the best of it.
Exactly. Make the best of it. Call or text? Text. Okay. Plan everything. What?
Again, it depends,
It depends again, yes. But it's not fair. You can't say it depends on all. And all the questions. But okay, yeah, I told you at the beginning that yes, you were allowed to. Plan everything or be spontaneous?
Both.
Both in professional life as well?
Correct. So plan everything, but you have to be spontaneous as well because things can change and your plan might suddenly stop working. So if you're not spontaneous, it would be too late.
Yeah. So you shouldn't be too rigid. Okay, city life or countryside?
Countryside.
Countryside. Board games, the last question, board games or video games or neither or both?
I think video games, but I'm of the linear age, where the guy just used to jump and move left and right and you have to just strike through things and the game is good. But now the games have changed dimensional and I still have to figure out the 360 thing, while playing with my son sometimes.
Nice. That's very good. Is there any question I should have asked you but I didn't?
Yes, I would like to focus on governance and compliance a bit more.
Yeah.
Like if you see that Saudi Arabia has set up an authority called 𝒍𝒆𝒂𝒓𝒏. 𝒍𝒆𝒂𝒓𝒏 is the anti-corruption authority of Saudi Arabia, and they are looking at the government entities, even the private entities and all businesses that exist in the kingdom for any corruption and cases. And everyone can directly even report a whistleblowing case to them. And this has really enhanced the level of compliance and the transparency and the culture of trust, both from within and also from outside the kingdom as well. So even on our messages, we receive information about how many cases they have investigated, how many people, whether they were irrespective of their position, from the most senior to the most junior, even very senior government officials, they have identified, and if there was any against them. Even the CMA, the Capital Market Authority, recently they fined board members of a listed company for certain irregularities. So why I'm saying this is that that happening in many countries. There are authorities, there are rules, but they are not put to work. No. But in the kingdom, we have personally seen them working, and as an investor or as a person or as a stakeholder, you feel that things are going in the right direction. And if someone is doing anything wrong, sooner or later they are going to be accounted for. And this is creating a culture of transparency, a culture of accountability, and a culture of compliance to the laws and regulations, and supporting the overall governance frameworks that have been set. So this is very important to know from an external perspective, that how things are shaping up in this direction. And this is very essential for to keep and to attract investment and the stakeholder trust in the overall system of the country.
Yeah, I think this is for businesses to flourish and to attract investment. Because if there's no strict regulations and transparency and being able to predict any misconduct in business, then it's not safe to do business. Then you're not safe with your money's not safe in the country where you want to go to.
Right.
So it's very important.
And lastly, on the statistics around the women in the workforce. So 2030, they surpassed, they set a goal of 30% for the 2030. So this was already surpassed, and a new target of 40% has been set already. Wow. The percentage of women in the workforce increased from 17% in 2017, with total women in the workforce reaching up to 35.5% in 2023. So from to 35%, comparing 2017 and 2023 with a 34% increase. And they have recently, increased the targets on this as well.
These are very ambitious, not ambitious, but well, the milestones were ambitious, but yet they keep on meeting them very quickly and setting new milestones.
Exactly, which are, a bit even more higher than before.
Where do you think that energy come from? Like all of a sudden, Saudi's really breaking all the records, and I feel like they are already competing with Emirates, with Dubai, like maybe secretly on a brotherly level, but I feel like a competition between both. Don't you think?
Yeah, so it drills down to the vision of the leadership at the end, and the driving force behind it. So you can see many countries have put visions, but they remained as visions.
Yeah.
But Saudi means business; it means action. So even the government offices, His Royal Highness Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and the senior leadership of the country. So they are personally overseeing each and every detail of this vision, and that is where it comes from, because the leadership is serious, and that seriousness drills down from the top level to all the operational levels across all the segments, and that's how you achieve results. And resources are provided, timelines are committed, and an ambitious and talented and well-educated teams are there, comprising of mostly our brothers and sisters from the Saudi Arabia. It's they shaping this vision. So this is pretty amazing thing. So some may say that all is done from foreign help and things like that. It is not the case. Again, we can make impressions and we can think what we want, but they have to come and see this themselves. So they will see very hardworking, smart, young, and excited, ambitious individuals, both male and female, in every sector. And I've personally seen, I've been given chance to lead teams, and thankfully, thanks to the kingdom and the companies I'm working, so they trusted and they provided these opportunities. So I personally worked with our teams, both male and female, and they are highly ambitious, and they are very well educated, and they want to part, and they are going already. So again, I can keep on talking about that. And I've seen them excelling, and they are now at much higher positions in of where they started, either in the same or in other organizations. So this journey, you can see very strong professional journeys in front of your own eyes as well. And not just that a person wants to stay in one place and spend their life. There is ambition, there is drive, there is self-investment on skills, on how to see their future. So for me, if I would suggest, if you talk to any Saudi colleagues of mine,
yeah, I'd love to.
You won't be amazed to know the original stories and how they are.
Yeah, and we would love it if you could suggest off camera later on some guests, Saudi guests to speak with. I think that's a living proof of how education can pay off. Educating the new generation. I know the Saudi many years ago, they sent out, they have scholarships, to send students outside in the world to the best international schools and universities, and now they're coming back and with a vision and with a desire to change their country to the best, to make their country one of the best countries in the world. It's really heartwarming to see that they care about it.
And this has also changed as well. So now Saudi institutions are partnering with foreign universities, and those universities and those programs are coming here.
Oh.
So now in the kingdom, even MISC, if you visit the MISC website, they are also preparing the Vision 2030 leaders, and they have selected the best leadership from different organizations, and they have put them on a further accelerated development program as well. So you would see examples of such development in any area we touch.
Wow, it's really exciting. It's exciting times, and it makes me really want to jump on a plane and come visit you. So, inshallah, next episode, part two, will be in person, and where we get to show our audience as well how fantastic Saudi is and how serious they are about business. Any last thoughts?
Visit Saudi and see it yourself.
Okay, thank you so much, Raheel, for your time. Thanks for being with us today.
Most welcome, and thank you again for the opportunity. Pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.